Okay, guys, so slightly different today. Where David's taking the lead on the last couple of webinars that we've done here. So just switched it up a bit today. You'll be glad to know actually I think the next webinar we have for the next couple of weeks, there'll be a new face. Adam will be in from UX. I think he's covering off email design there. So it'll be changed up slightly there. But yeah, obviously the topic that we're covering off today is improving your conversion rate in IRP. So some of the stuff will probably be basic enough there, but there'll be a few things, and imagine everyone in attendance here today will be new to them. So try and cover that off in as much detail as possible, and hopefully you can take something positive away from the session. Obviously David covers this slide week in, week out, but David is head of customer success, has probably been in contact with everyone on the call at some stage, and then myself there just working on customer success with David. So we'll be working together through the slides today. One of the slides that we always touch on weekly is just merchant first means visibility, control, and profit there. So obviously we're talking about conversion rate today. So you can see full visibility and control of your conversion rates in IRP, and actually by improving your conversion rate significantly, that can improve your profit and your bottom line there, which is what everyone's essentially in business for there, to make as much money as possible. The contents of the slide today. So first of all, we'll cover off the maths behind e-commerce and the impact of improved conversion rates. We'll look at conversion rate benchmarks across all IRP merchants across different industries there, just to give you an idea of where you sit there versus your competition and others who are in similar space. We'll analyse the conversion rates using IRP Trader, so all the different areas within Trader that you can touch on there to see your conversion rates. We'll then look at the tactics for improving your conversion rates and look at some conversion rate success stories. So I'll just hand over to David now to cover off the next few slides.
Yeah, so MAS, e-commerce is all about MAS, and as I say, every presentation we always bring it back to the basics. And you have three key factors that you can control to impact your sales number, and that is traffic, conversion, and AOV. And today's session is all about conversion rate. And an example on the screen, you can see by improving your conversion rate from 1.46 to 1.66, has a 13% impact on your growth, and give you about another 70k of sales. So small tweaks to whether it's your messaging or across different areas of the site does have a knock-on effect on your bottom line. We've added an extra slide in to give everyone a simple explanation in relation to how conversion rate is calculated. So to calculate your conversion rate, you take the number of conversions divided by the total number of visitors and multiply by 100. So for example, if your e-commerce site receives 100 visitors in a day and you've 2 sales, the conversion rate would be 2%. And it is obviously benchmarked across e-commerce websites. Average conversion rate would sit around 2 or 3%. So you obviously have a high number of visitors, and it is about having everything right to get the small number of people to convert at that time. We've modeled, so we've modeled out, and this is part of the strategy document that you will have worked on with your account manager. And we've modeled out your sales per month, looking at sessions, conversion rate, and AOV. And you can show the impact where sessions kind of hover between 80 and 100k visitors a month. And then if you look, the AOV would be pretty consistent, and it will certainly rise during promotional activity to drive that up to get the customers to add one into their basket. But the conversion rate, whenever you look at sort of January 23 at 0.58 and November 23 or December, maybe during Black Friday, Christmas sales, etc., it sort of highs out and pops out at 1.15 and 1.4. You can look at the sales figure, and in January it was a 0.58% conversion rate. It was around €100,000. But when you had a 1.15 or a 1.4 conversion rate, the sales are north of 200k. So the conversion rate does have a significant impact to your bottom line, and you can see it visually in this screen, and every 0.1% does make a massive difference. And this slide again, just finishing up on the maths behind e-commerce. Once you have your traffic conversion AOV equal your e-commerce sales, and you can calculate your gross profit by taking off your cost of goods. And then your e-commerce gross profit is your gross profit and minus your variable traffic spend. And your traffic spend, as we kind of covered off in the 3 previous webinars, is one of the biggest variables to your net profit. You take your e-commerce gross profit minus your overheads to give your net profit, and we're seeing the majority of e-commerce business is running around at sort of 7% and net profit.
Guys, I'm just going to double check the chat here. Oh, sorry. I can see there a comment from Lindsay. It's hard to hear. Is that okay now, guys? If Angela or Lindsay just wants to respond in there, can you hear us okay now?
Right, we'll continue on. Hopefully you can hear me a bit better now. I'll speak a bit louder as well.
Actually, a message. That's funny.
Cheers.
Are you okay, Richard? It's not too good.
Okay. I've been known to shout a bit, so now we'll move on then just to the next slide. So yeah, next we're going to look at conversion rate benchmarks. So these figures are published, and you'll see a link there first of all, the bottom of the slide there for the e-commerce market data. So this is published each month. These are up to March there, but you can see IRP merchants on the whole, January and March there have seen considerable growth on conversion, and February was slightly down there. But whenever we've included these stats, really we need to look at these figures, and they do vary massively between industries, and you'll see that in the next slide. But it's just interesting to see, across the board where everybody sits at there. If we're looking at industries, you see there up top is pet care. There'll be, people on the call today who are probably, well, you'll obviously know where you sit out there, but it'll be a worthwhile exercise to see where you sort of match up there against where some of these industry figures are currently sitting at. There'll be some merchants who are, maybe in a pool of 1 or 2 there. Others, within IRP, there'll be 5 or 6 or 7 merchants there. But always good to have a look there and do some comparison and constantly benchmark yourself. I'd encourage everybody to look at the e-commerce market data. I know David shared the April stats there yesterday as well. So have a read at those and just see how things are going and playing out within your own businesses.
So back to me, and hopefully you can hear me a bit better now. What we're going to walk through the next few slides is around how do you actually analyze your conversion rate using IRP Trader. So in the last number of releases, we have been bringing the key metrics, and one of them being conversion rate to the four of the IRP Trader platform, so you can see it front and center. So conversion rate, as soon as you log into Trader and you're in mission control, you have a date range filter. So you can be looking at that daily, weekly, last 30 days, and you can do comparisons on that. So that will give you your overall conversion rate for your site. You can then transition into the positions tab, and this will give you the year-on-year historic view of your conversion rate. And this will let you see where your peaks and troughs are throughout the year, whether that's buyer behavior, seasonality for your products you sell, and it will allow you to factor into your trading year.
Next, then we can look at conversion rates at the country level. So within mission control, you can quickly see and highlight there which countries are driving, typically higher conversion rates. You'll see there I've highlighted in red just the different countries and the stats. Now, one interesting way to approach this would be to look at countries that that you aren't actually specifically targeting. And if there are organic or direct visits coming from those countries which are resulting in conversions, that's a conversation that you can have then with your service provider around, opening up additional feeds there within Marketing Cloud and driving additional traffic there. And hopefully that positive conversion rate that you've seen maintained in those countries, and you can really drive additional traffic. And similarly, that conversion rate can be obtained there, and really the sales there that come off the back of that are positive for your bottom line. And then further on from that, just within sales analysis, we can view conversion rates at the brand, category, and product level. So again, there you'll see where I've highlighted in red here, clicking between brands, categories, models, and even down to the stock level there. So different sizes for for models, and we can see conversion rates. So that can help drive, merchandise purchasing decisions in the future there, where, certain sizes are selling a hell of a lot better than others, and just help that, conversion rate that's being displayed there to really help drive and determine what you're stocking and what you're showing on your online store.
And through on that, whenever you're looking at brand and categories, you have brands and categories and even products that convert very, very well. And by analyzing and comparing one brand versus another, you can look at what tactics you've implemented and what you can then look at implementing on the other pages, whether that's related to the navigation, the buttons, the navigation filters, etc. So it's always important to look and see what is working and what isn't. And the next few slides then are around tactics to improve your conversion rate. And because small increments make such a difference, it's important to always be testing. And in the last release, you have access to split tests at banner level. Richard has previously done a little recording, and we'll share that along with the recording after this session. But you will be looking at your messaging. Because like if 100 people come to your website and your average conversion rate is 2%, that's 2 people out of 100. So you need really know your customer better. What message does resonate with them? Looking at Google's research, people do vary around shipping, returns, feedback, reviews, customer service. You want your customers to come on your site and be confident that you're going to deliver that product, and it is around your messaging and the USPs across homepage, listing pages, product pages, basket, and the whole way through the checkout. But again, testing is really the only way to really work out and identify with numbers what is working the best. And every 0.01, 0.2, etc. will have an impact on your bottom line. You can test at a country level, and this kind of ties into one of the previous screens on the mission control, where Richard was breaking down by country sales. Always start with your top country, get that test running, look at the data, analyze, and then test market by market. And then as an exercise, as we were pulling these slides together, we kind of thought, well, what was the easiest way to kind of explain? If Richard and I were taking a look at this and coming up with suggestions to help you guys. So what we always do is once we kind of analyze the data in Trader and got an understanding of what's working, what's not, we start to look at the front end of the website and where things can be improved. So across the IRP, you have a lot of flexibility across desktop and mobile. You have your banners, and you have your roof banner, your heading, your footer, and it's important that your customer understands why they should buy this thing within seconds. But your messaging and your shipping, your returns, your about us, pay by installments, customer reviews, loyalty scheme. And it's making sure you get your unique points across in a clear and clean way. Reviews, IRP has product reviews built in, and a lot of you will also use a third-party review service like People or Trustpilot. Make sure you're keeping on top of these, you're responding. Positive and negative reviews. Customers read these, and they'll pick up a lot about your brand. Your navigation and your banner positioning. Look at that. Have your best-selling products near the top of the page, using your navigation to direct products that are more likely to sell, and then scroller bringing products to the forefront of your site. Everyone goes to e-commerce like to purchase products, and it's about getting them in front of customers as early as possible. Using product lists, you can get your customers to the right products at the right time.
I think in terms of the navigation banner positioning there, we've just dropped in the point around like how you read a book. So you start at the top left and you work your way down there. So it is critically important there that the messaging and also the layout of the tabs there and the navigation do correlate there. And in terms of best sellers, working your way from left to right and down the page are also, if you're wanting to promote seasonal products at certain times in the year, make sure they're displayed in the most relevant position, or a position that they get the most visibility on the homepage there.
And after the homepage, most customers, if they've landed on the homepage and looking at the data across our sites, homepages are one of the specific pages. A lot of the traffic will also come directly to the website if you stop and then end up on the product page. But when the navigation of one of the customer's journey, listing pages are properly viewed, and having clean filters, good USP messaging, and really getting the customer to the product page. If someone's on this page, we want to get them and push them into your product page. So again, utilizing the roof, the header, and the footer banner areas, similar to the homepage. Attributes and product data is critical to the success of any e-commerce business. Make sure your attributes are positioned in order of what a browser or a customer is looking for. So if they're purchasing clothes, size and color, and specifically brands are important. Make sure that you review your attributes, make sure there's no duplicates, keep color lists as concise as possible. And it's all about making that navigational experience and filtering as clean and as quick for the customer as possible.
And then moving on just from the listings pages, as David stated, you just having a look at your analytics stats there in terms of the number of visitors who are landing on your site, directly through a shopping ad or a search ad. And it's actually quite surprising there that many users will never actually see the homepage, the listings page on your site. They'll actually just land directly on the product page. So it is critical that the product pages are set up in the best way possible. And so first of all, in terms of your images, make sure that they're high quality and they're well sized. There was a new release there that went out probably 6 months ago in relation to the layout of product imagery there. I know a few sites have went ahead and rolled that out. I think there were 2 examples, Janzara and CozyMac, whenever we reviewed the desktop conversion rate versus the previous 7 days. There was significant uplift there where there hadn't been much of a change in mobile. So you can utilize that functionality. And if there are videos available around products, it just helps build engagement there. And that obviously helps in terms of your ranking there on the search engines. And make sure your product description, list out the benefits of the product. And try to stay away from copy and paste the content. I know it's difficult whenever you're selling third-party, branded product where you're basically just taking the content from the brand site there. But wherever possible, try and have that content as unique and engaging as possible. In terms of product reviews are very positive and helping to build trust for any potential customer wanting to purchase from you. And what I would say, looking at a few of the IRP product review systems emails, and there isn't much optimization happening in there at the moment. So it'd be one worth picking up on with the account manager there, and just in terms of what you can do to maximize what you're getting out of those product review emails. And your dispatch messaging, be upfront on your delivery cost. It just avoids basket dropout further down the line. And you'll see here this particular merchant has Klarna as well, and you can see the exact breakdown of paying by installments. So that makes it more attractive for those merchants who are selling higher average order value products. It makes it seem more affordable. And so having that on the product page is also beneficial. And you'll see their size selection and also size and fit guides. Particularly for clothing and footwear merchants, fit guides are also helpful in helping to drive down that return rate. So obviously a size 9 or 10 in an Adidas shoe versus a Puma or a Nike might be quite different. So if you can include your fit guides in there, it just helps give the customer more information and drive down the likelihood of a return being processed there. Also linking out your returns policy. Customers like to know the exact details of what returns looks like, what your process looks like, and if it's easy and straightforward. And then finally, just on the pricing there, always display a saving where possible. There's also the IRP advanced pricing. So if you are looking to sell into different territories, utilize the advanced pricing as much as possible. It just gives the user a more localized experience. Moving on from the product then, we look at the basket page. So we've recently just released new functionality there in the checkout funnel within Marketing Cloud. Get an idea of exactly where customers are dropping out at, and whether that's your delivery details, your postage options, whether it's the actual the payment page itself there, and try and do a bit of testing there, as David says, like make small tweaks and changes to your messaging, and just to see if you can get as many customers converting as possible through the checkout. You'll see here I've listed small translations 150, across all IRPs as standard. We do sort of talk about currency conversion in there. And I know a few IRP sites speaking directly to merchants there, we've removed that messaging around currency conversion, and it has helped aid, more positive conversion. So that's something worth having a look into. And looking at payment processors as well, there's the option to set up multiple payment processors. So that just removes currency conversion messaging as well through the basket and the figure that you actually get in the last stage of the checkout. And then finally, just in terms of upsell and cross-sell opportunities, probably one more relating to average order value, but quite a few merchants do utilize IRP promotions there to try and drive, higher average order value and convert more sort of relevant products to what you have in the basket. And then the final one just is the checkout there. So that's sort of three steps where we've got delivery details, postage options, and then pay and checkout. So make sure you're advertising secure payment through the use of banners there on the site with your postage options and display delivery times. I think most merchants do that, but also if you're using a reputable courier, i.e., a FedEx or a DPD or a DHL, it's also useful to have those couriers actually noted in the checkout there, because it's something that the user would associate trust with. And then pay and checkout. So on that page, you want to activate as many payment methods as possible just to make the checkout experience as seamless as possible. So within IRP, you can have credit debit cards, PayPal, bank transfer, Klarna, Amazon Pay, and also the digital wallets are available through most payment gateways there. So if you haven't got all those active, worth having a chat with the account manager there to see what steps you need to take to get those active on site. And then again, just in relation to the payment processors, there is the option to enable the multi-currency. And you'll see there that the total for the product I have in the checkout here is just over £1,700. Now, if that was in euros and your primary processor was a GBP account, it would show a converted value. So there is the option actually to add CSS at the checkout stage as well there, just to hide that value if you aren't having many sort of incoming inquiries from customers in countries outside your primary selling territory who are asking about currency conversion and potentially putting them off checking out with yourself there. And then one I've added in here is just quite, like, to me, gone through quite a few IRP merchants. IRP search is neglected quite a bit there. So I would encourage most merchants just to check up on this probably weekly or monthly around your field individual words. Get a sense of what customers are actually searching for in the front end of the site, and conversion rates on anybody utilizing the internal search bar is between 3 and 5 times higher than what it is somebody landing on the site and then just navigating through your navigation tabs there. So I'd encourage you to use that in the best way possible. And there's also IRP model tagging within the product section. So if you're not utilizing that, it does allow for bulk import there where you can apply different tags to different models. And that just really helps to drive the functionality of search and IRP as well.
And then
like test improvements, and you'll see on screen top conversion rate of an IRP merchant is sort of 4.34%. Desktop versus mobile breakdown. They're getting their desktop sites converting at 8.22%. So take a look at their site. Again, it may be specific to their industry, but you are here to pick up a few things that you may want to test or check on your own site. Top conversion rate on mobile is Green Angels. Their merchants and customers are converting at 3.23%. Across mobile. And then with the account management team, there's been a number of merchants that have had to work closely with. We try and work with everyone as closely as possible. But the most improved conversion rates in 2023 versus 2022, Cozy Max conversion rates up 71%, Janzara up 62%, and Anne's Cottage up 17%. Interestingly, whenever we were looking at the data, there's a correlation between an improved conversion rate and the CPA coming significantly down off the back of that. So where Cozy Max conversion rate increased by over 70%, the CPA is actually down over 60%. Same with Janzara, 62% conversion rate increase. Their CPA is down 50%. Anne's Cottage have improved their conversion rate by 17%, and their CPA is down 16%. So this really just iterates that improving your conversion rate really does have a positive impact on your bottom line and is going to make your business more profitable. Averages then, in terms of benchmarks of where you start whenever you've dug into the data in your IRP trader. In March 23, average desktop conversion rate was 2.1%, and then average mobile was 1.6. So again, across IRP, there's lots of different industries and lots of different merchants. So first of all, look at your industry and look at your kind of average, and this will be the first sort of point to see how you match up. Are you above? Are you below? And then really looking at the content we've covered today, start looking at your messaging, start looking at that user journey through the site, and you will sure with your account manager be able to improve your conversion rate.
So I think, yeah, guys, that finishes up today's presentation just on conversion rate. And as usual, we'll just open up now for questions there. And if anyone has anything specific to the slides covered today, feel free to shout away there.